Okay, so the audio today is a little bit off because I can't use my mic because it's not working very well with my computer. The camera that I'm using is a Logitech HD 1080p, but no, that's the definition. It is a Logitech C920. It's HD Pro camera, but so the visual quality is very good, but the audio quality isn't. So I do apologize in advance for the audio quality. I could not get my mic to work today. Today I wanted to talk about bullying. I see so many videos and so many posts about bullying and about cyberbullying, how to deal with bullies in school or whatever, and most of the advice that people give the people who are being bullied is terrible. And this is coming from someone who has actually been bullied. And it's not just name calling, it's not just people like pushing you or hitting you or whatever. It's just the advice that people give to people is just completely invalid and it doesn't work, and it's the reason why bullying continues till today. That whole ignore it and it goes away thing does not work, okay? This is why it doesn't work. It doesn't work because the perpetrator doesn't see it as a sign of, oh, that person must be really mature, they're ignoring me, I'm going to go find something else to do. Instead, what happens is that person assumes that you're afraid of them. They take your kindness for granted as a sign of weakness, and they continue to harass you. And if you tell an authority figure and they tell you to ignore them, they have no consequences for their actions. And if you tell your parents and then they tell you to ignore them, then they're not going to oppose anything on the school system to do anything about it. And this cycle of abuse will continue, and it'll continue to get more and more out of hand because that person doesn't have any consequences for their actions. And this is what empowers people to be entitled douchebags, and that is, why we have so many messed up people in our society today. So that whole ignore it and it goes away thing does not work, okay? It is bad advice, and it doesn't work for anyone, like, ever in history. There are some things that you can't ignore on a very minimal basis, like name calling or whatever. If it's, just sort of random or whatever, like, you can ignore that. Who cares? But if it's consistent, you can call them back out their name. Like, I know people say don't stoop to their level, you want to be bigger than that, but, the reason why they keep bothering you is because you don't do anything about it. And they know that the system is on their side, and they're not going to face any consequences for their actions. And if you catch them off guard by ignoring them and then all of a sudden call them out their name back, it's going to catch them off guard. And if you call them something nasty enough, then they will leave you alone because they don't want to be called out. They don't want the power dynamics to change. They don't want to be at the bottom of that. They don't want to be on the other end of that. And a lot of times the reason why people bully others is because it's a power trip. They don't have any power or control in their lives. People who bully people in school often are bullied at home. People, I don't know, like, if you're being bullied at home, maybe you're the baby and there's 3 children. The middle child above you may pick on you because their older sibling picked on them and because their parent picked on them, and it's just this sort of pecking order like mentality. So if you can kind of like show people that you're not gonna put up with that, then it catches them off guard and people don't like being put on blast. Also, what you can do is you can just say some really messed up things to people that are just out of this world to make them think that you're crazy, and then they won't want to mess with you anymore, because they don't want to deal with a crazy person. They don't want to deal with somebody that's going to be a problem. They're looking for easy pickings. They're looking for people who are easy to pick on, people who they perceive to be weak. And if you show them that you're not weak and you do something about it, then, it'll start to slow down. And then that bully may tell other bullies, like, hey, don't mess with this person, they're crazy. And, people could just think you're crazy and learn to leave you alone. and then only people who really like you will be attracted to you. And then people who are superficial, they kind of fade away. Okay? When it comes to hitting, if somebody puts their hands on you, you have the right to defend yourself because they started it and they're the aggressor in the situation and you can retaliate. And this goes for all sorts of things. And if somebody is bothering you and you tell the teacher and they ignore it, and then you tell your parents and they tell you to ignore it, you can press charges against them, depending on how old you are and what state or whatever. Most of the time, your parents have to be the ones to press charges, depending on how old you are, and what state you're in or what laws or whatever. You can press charges against someone for assault and harassing you. If your child is being bullied in school, or you're a parent, some states now have anti-bullying laws in place, and if the teachers, the principals, the school system don't do anything about it, you can take legal action against them for negligence and not really doing anything to ensure your child's safety. Because if they're doing that to your child, then other children are at risk too. So, yeah. If you're being harassed at home by siblings, and your parents don't do anything about it, and it's imposing like a very unsafe environment for you, you can tell someone at school, a teacher or a principal or, whatever, a trusted adult. And when I say trusted adult, I don't mean someone that's going to tell you to ignore it and it goes away. I mean a trusted adult as in someone who will actually do something about it and give you some advice that'll actually help it to stop. If your parents are bullying you, harassing you, abusing you, or whatever, you can press charges against them or tell the school system, but by doing so, you put yourself at risk of being taken away from your family and being lost in the foster care system, and then bullying and harassing will increase. So keep that in mind. If you're being bullied or harassed in the workplace by coworkers, you can tell your employer. And if your employer doesn't do anything about it, you can take legal action because it's their job to ensure that you have a safe work environment. If your employer is the one bullying and harassing you, you can go to a higher power. Like if it's an assistant manager, you can go to the manager. If it's the manager, you can go to whoever is the manager of them. And if the manager of them is bothering you, then you can go to the CEO or CFO or whoever. And, if they're not really doing anything about it, then you can take legal action, you can press charges against people, and, just that, bringing the law into it is sometimes the only language that people can understand when it comes to being bullied and harassed. People don't understand, no means no, and certain things just aren't okay. Sometimes you have to bring legal action into it. And if it's a situation where it can be avoided, if it's a friend or a family member or, someone that you don't really want to associate with, then you can cut them out of your lives. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to be around them. You don't have to hang out with them. They don't have to be a part of your life. If you're over the age of 18, if it's a school system or whatever, you can transfer to a different school. If it's a job and there's issues and stuff there, you can bring the law into it. But if it creates a hostile work environment, then apply to other jobs. If I'm sorry, the doorbell is ringing. The mail's here, and I have 4 dogs, so I'm sorry about all the barking. But if it's somebody that anybody, you don't have to talk to them, you don't have to be around them, and you can cut them out of your lives and do other things. If it's on the internet, you can block people, You can report them to whatever site they're harassing you on. You can mark it as spam. You can print them out and bring them to the police station and press charges against that person if they're threatening you or something. You can block their numbers or, whatever. There are ways to go about avoiding it and bring legal action to it. And just staying away from toxic people. I don't know, like if you're in a toxic situation and around toxic people, you can hold them accountable for their actions by always going to a higher power and avoiding those people and just staying away from them, and you don't have to be around them. If someone, I don't know, sometimes it's okay to, just tell someone to back off or raise your middle finger up at them. Like, sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's just something that you have to do with people and you don't have to worry about being bothered by it. So, yeah, that's my whole take on bullying. I hope that it's helpful to people. Again, sorry for the audio. I couldn't really use my mic. I'm trying to figure it out later, but right now I can't really do anything about it, so I do apologize in advance. I hope this is helpful, and I hope that people who are being bullied or harassed are just safe, and they don't do anything too drastic to escalate the situation and feed into the hate and aggression even more. You can be a kind person and not take crap from people. You can be a good person and not tolerate when people are bugging you. So, yeah. I hope this advice helps. Sorry for the audio. See you guys later. I'll try and post more videos more often. Thank you for watching. Comment below if you have any questions or whatever. Let me know.